Right. Good morning, good afternoon, good day. Yeah. You are coming from all parts of the world.
Good day,
Yeah.
sir.
Happy that you join us. Yeah. Now I'm talking about conflict, psychology. Yeah. In that sense, because psychology really does play a part in all conflict matter. Yeah. Emotion play a role in conflict. Yeah. And also, of course, conflicts are not rational. Most dispute springs from some perceived injustice, and this inevitably involve injury to feeling. Say, for instance, if I were to talk to you, and then at back of my mind, I have something, thinking, and suddenly you sort of uh, shout at me, and then I sort of taken aback, and you know, the reaction is there. So, therefore, there will always be a conflict. Yeah. And there's one Aristotle in Normandian, yeah, ethics, that is attributed to his name, his son's name, Nicomas. And he remarks, anyone can be angry, yeah, that is easy. But to be angry with the right person, to the right degree, at the right time, for the right purpose, and in the right way, that's not easy. So I think, of course, that is his expression, right? Over to you.
Thank you so much, sir. I welcome to Lex Nexus channel, and I hope you all subscribe and also do like and share our video. So today's topic is about conflicts and taking up sir's point that you need to be angry with the right person, right time, and right degree. That is very important. And here I tell you a story from Mahabharata about Janmajaya. Janmajaya's father, Parikshit, who was a grandson of Arjuna. Arjuna is amongst the five Pandavas. So Parikshit was once he went to the forest hunting and he was very thirsty. So he entered the ashrama and he found there one sage into deep meditation. This is meditation, not mediation. So he was in a deep meditation. So the king Parikshit asked that, can I get some water? But since the sage Shamik Rishi was into deep meditation, he did not answer. Upon which the king got angry and he just put a dead snake around his neck and he left the ashram. The rishis, the sage son, saw it and he was very angry and he cursed Parikshit emperor and he said that within 7 days you will die of a snake bite. And accordingly, Parikshit king died of a snake bite. The snake was Takshaka. So here, Parikshit's son, Janmajaya, when he heard about this, he thought of taking revenge and he performed the yagna. In that yagna, he called upon all the snakes by the mantra, powerful mantra, and they were all buried or they were all burned into that fire. So here, as Sir rightly pointed out, that it should be with a right degree, which is very important. If one person has caused some harm, you're almost, you're killing all the snakes, which is not good. So that yagna was stopped by Astika, and Astika was mediator in this. So I'll tell the rest part next. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, my next slide is about self-esteem. Self-esteem is one of the most powerful motivating factors in our conflict because, say, for instance, if a leader, he has one self-esteem and he himself want to lead, say, a country like your India president, yeah, Mr. Modi, yeah. If he has a thinking and he has a plan, he will have self-esteem, which will help him to motivate him, and then he push the plan through. Similarly, in our case in Singapore, now our Prime Minister, Mr. Lee Hsien Loong, is going to hand over the ruling of the country to the next Prime Minister, yeah, Mr. Lawrence Wong. And today, on the 15th of May, the handing over is uh, staged. And therefore, after 15th of May, Mr. Lawrence Wong will be the next leader as Prime Minister. And of course, he himself will have also his own self esteem. And he will gather all his um, colleagues and also the, the minister that is working for him. He will be the one who lead them and then push his plan forward. So a leader usually will have self-esteem in that sense. Yeah. And of course, um, there's also a need for approval. But this need of approval is part of our relatedness and of being in the world with others. Yeah. Sometimes we feel that, hey, I need to do this. Yeah. And sometimes you need someone to approve and say, okay, I think it's good that you go ahead. And when it is approved, you find that I have somebody backing me up, giving me that sort of support. But there's also a fear of disapproval when it comes in the form of accusation of negligence, etc. So approval and disapproval, it goes hand in hand. There's this also the corporate and community self-esteem happens too. In the sense that corporate, they have their own culture. So if a leader in that, say, company or corporate, he will be the one who will set the tone of how the company is going to do. And he will have a sort of objective for the company uh, to lay out the plan. And thereafter that, all the employees will have to follow. So corporate and community self-esteem also happens. And then our self-concept involve a need to be respected and valued. So this is one of the self-esteem that I'm telling you right now. Yeah, over to you, Vidulada.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, coming back to our story of Raja Parikshit, King Parikshit, as I said, conflicts are inevitable parts of our lives. And as Sir rightly pointed out, self esteem plays a very major role. It's all the conflicts are built by our emotions, and it's the way we react or we respond to them matters a lot. Let me tell you this by an example. Supposing if in early morning hours, father is dropping a child to school gathering, and they are in hurry, and by mistakenly the child spills the cup of tea on the father's shirt, and the father shouts at her. So this is reaction. Reaction is always, overpowered by the emotions. That time the father was angry, and in that heat of anger, he shouted the girl, which the reaction which happened, and due to which the girl also was saddened and she could not performed well. So it's a chain. When you react to certain things, it forms a chain. So rather than reacting, we should train our minds to respond. And how do we do that? Response means you have to overcome your emotions, because as Sir rightly pointed out, every conflict is built up by the emotions, which could be anger, revenge, or sad, fear, jealousy, it could be anything. And once these emotions overpower you, when they are controlling you, you react. And then it forms a chain of action and reaction, which further worsens the problem. So over to you, sir.
Okay. Let me continue with the next slide. Still self-esteem. Now, there's also coping mechanism. We must always remember to avoid the word why question. Because as it demands a justification and likely to be interpreted as accusatory. Say, why do you do this? Yeah. Why are you not doing something else? So the question why is not always to be a good question to be asked. It will be good that it will be interpreted differently, but the word why must not be there. You can always say how, when, what can you do? You know, these are the questions that is more appropriate. When you are having, sort of dispute with the other party, because if you use the word why, it demands a justification, and the other party will look upon you and say, "Why should I answer you?" Yeah, sort of to justify that he has done something that is not, untowards him. So another, of course, is the uncertainty, the consistency, and the need for control. In the self-esteem, when we want to manage shame, it creates an element of apprehension and fear. Certainly, let's say if you are in a company, suddenly the manager tells you that, look, today we are going to do a new computer system, yeah, which you are not familiar with, and which you have been doing the old type of system, and you find it, at ease. Now they ask you to use a new one, a new system, which you are not familiar, and you sort of have a panic and apprehension and fear. So there is always this, that if you lose your self-esteem, you tend to fear, and you tend to um, want to react and oppose. So that self-esteem is not there anymore, right? Okay, another, of course, is when people are in fear of being controlled. They want to restore control, yeah, which I mentioned to you, that let's say you are given a new system. There's always the sort of resistance, yeah. And of course, when there is a resistance, uh, you are trying to have your own self-esteem to bring that back to you, and you want to have a control. And you want to have control, you have to know that you have that power, and that power delivers that control. Yeah. Without that power, you're not able to control it, and that's all. If you are being led by the manager, and the manager say, no, look, you are my subordinate. You have to know, when I tell you what to do, you have to do it. Then there's this loss of self-esteem. Over to you.
Absolutely, absolutely right, sir. So, coming to Sir's point, picking up from his whatever he said very wisely, self esteem plays a very important role. And I must say that in any relationship, relationships are so delicate, and we need to handle them with utmost care. And, delicately, we should handle them so that they are not injured. We have to, respect the self esteem and everything. So let me tell you one very nice story of Buddha. He had once got a silky handkerchief, and in front of the pupils he put some knots on it. And then he said that What does this knots indicates? You know, the knots in the handkerchief indicates about each emotions. That is, it may be your anger, jealousy, revenge, fear. And when we have to untie those knots, what do we need to do? If we pull it, they will further be smaller and tighter. And therefore, it is good to go to the root of the knots and try to understand as to why this particular emotion have come here. You know, if certain, like if a person is angry, we have to set apart that emotion of anger from ourselves. It's not me who is, this is the anger which has try to understand as to why the anger is here, what is the purpose, why the emotions are here. Once you get the answers to these questions, going to the root and finding out the reasons probably may help you to untie those knots which are very essential. So it's very essential to go to the root and untie the knots to preserve that delicate relationship. Over to you, sir. Over and out from my side.
Okay. So shall we stop here and then is it okay? Good.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I think I'm not sure how long as we. This is only up to the fourth slide. So let me see if I have how many slides.